Hey friends, it's Hannah from Dazzling Books. Today I want to talk about Every Exquisite Thing by Matthew Quick. Every Exquisite Thing is about this girl called Nanette. She is a good girl, she had good grades, she has a good family and a good life. One day, she was introduced to this book called The Bubblegum Reaper and she became obsessed with it. She realized a lot of things about her life because of this book, and at first she began having questions about the book, but later she began questioning her life and what she does and whether who she is a projection of who she really wants to be or who she is supposed to be according to the people around her. This is the most #relatable book that I've read from Matthew Quick because this girl Nanette, she's an introvert, and I like that this struggle of an introvert living in an extroverted world is being talked about. Before I go further into my review and what I like and what I don't like, I'm just gonna lay it out first that a lot of these things are going to be what the book gave me and how I react to the book and my experience with the book, instead of taking apart the technical part, like the plot and the little bits of how the author made or wrote the story, because this book was more of an emotional journey unexpectedly for me. I thought about the book a lot after reading the book. So if you're looking for those technical stuff in the review, I'm sorry, this is not the video for you. So I'm gonna talk about what I don't like about the book first so that I can get this out of the way and end with the positive things instead. I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. So my issue with this book is how boring the first chapter was. And honestly, if it wasn't for me being comfortable and knowing and enjoying a couple of other books from Matthew Quick, I wouldn't have picked this book up. But I'm glad that I pushed through because in the end, it unexpectedly made me emotional at some points in the book, and I was left thinking a lot after reading it. The second thing that I don't like about this book, I couldn't find myself caring about any of the other characters other than the main character. It would have been major if it wasn't for the enjoyment that I had that outweigh the stuff. The third thing is Nanette, in my eyes, she's so blessed. And I understand if she wants to question the things that she does. I do that too. But when she complains about something or when she takes something for granted, and those things and those opportunities are quite rare for other people, and let me just say it, she's privileged. So when she takes those privilege for granted or complain about them, I was like, I mean, I could understand, but I just didn't like that part. This thing that I want to talk about, it's not exactly a negative in the book, but it's just me thinking that this is missing from a lot of the young adult books, and I expect young adult books to have this, but they don't. This doesn't. And it is a good and solid relationship between a daughter and a mother and a family dynamic. Come on, YA book, please. Now let's talk about the things that I like. I appreciate how this book had such a different tone from the other books that I've read that have similar aspects with this book. For example, Rainbow Rowell's Fangirl. That book has a story within a story, and it also has an introverted protagonist, and it's about growing up too. And I like that. It's lighthearted, it's funny, it's warming, but this book is branded Matthew Quick. You have characters that are so Matthew Quick-ish, they're misfits, and the tone of the book is super Matthew Quick. It's rather somber, but somehow with his writing, the writing is quite okay, and then there's this one sentence that just stabs you in the chest, and you like it because it made you feel something, and then you read it again, and there it comes again. It's unexpected, and it's there. And somehow with this somber and dark tone of the book, Matthew Quick still manages to smuggle in funny moments. Also, I relate to this book because the main protagonist is an introvert, and we see her go through the struggle growing up or making friends or just living in a society that is extroverted as an introvert. And a lot of the time introverts feel like there is something wrong with them, not because they're wrong or there is something wrong with them, but rather because other people tell them that is wrong. And to see Nanette go through the process of realizing that, oh, actually there's nothing wrong with me, and coming in terms with that, I was emotional. There was this one scene, she was having a conversation and I cried unexpectedly because I had the same exact conversation about growing up and feeling like I don't belong there. Also, it's a book about stories, and I like that. It made me think about how books can change people's life. It made me think about what is the intended message that the author tried to tell me while writing this book, and how it delivered, and how maybe I don't get what the author tried to tell me. Maybe I get something else from it, and that's fine, because once a book is published, honestly, it's yours when you read it. You can argue that the book means something to you, or that the book is trying to tell you something, as long as you have the proof that it's there in the book, even though the author can deny it. And I think that's really something to think about. It's fascinating. Nanette and a new friend that she made in the book, they read the same book. They read the same words. However, the book triggered different reaction from these two people, and I loved seeing that, because it just means that, you know, books mean differently for different people, and books made different changes in different people, and that is so cool. And the fact that words can change people or motivate them to do something, or make them think and rethink and question things, that's just so cool. I like that. The experience after reading the book made me like the book more than my experience when I was reading the book. I do think that this book is worth reading, especially if you're an introvert and if you like fangirl. It's totally different from fangirl, but you might relate to some of the aspects. I appreciate the things that it talks about, and like I said, I enjoyed it in the end. So that's my thoughts on every exquisite thing. If this sounds interesting at all to you, then tell me in the comments if my review makes you feel interested in the book. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!